further ado, I want to introduce Christina Norman. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, great. Well, hopefully everybody can hear us for sound. Anyways, well, I want to first say thanks for coming this evening. And I know it was kind of hectic to kind of get things all wrapped up, but so for me to chat with you, and at least we got to speak before, which is good. So anyways, like I said to you when I talked to you before, I'd like to start out initially by getting a little bit of background from you, kind of like where you kind of grew up, college, that kind of stuff, and kind of take me up to just your history of maybe after college, first job. And then we'll get into talking about Aspen, we're going to talk about cosmetology, that's coaching and stuff. But just start right there. Sound good?
Sure.
Okay, great.
So again, I'm Christina Norman, and I'm born and raised in Denver, Colorado.
Native.
Woo-hoo! And I went to the University of Colorado at Boulder.
Go Buffs. Go Buffs. Woo! Yeah.
And where I studied business management for 4 years. And after college, I got my first job at AT&T as a sales manager, managing sales teams in the retail location. So I managed 2 stores simultaneously. And I've worked for Nordstrom, Target, so I have a big retail sales management background. Yeah.
Okay, so when you were at CU, when did you graduate?
2008.
Oh my gosh. Makes me feel really old. No, that's fine. So just keep going a little bit to where you told me a little bit about kind of working for the corporate world, right? And you decided at some point that was not something that you wanted to continue to do, but you had a passion, right? I know you're talking a little bit about that.
Definitely. So, as I was a store manager for AT&T, I developed an awareness about the cake design world because I've always been fascinated with the wedding industry, and I just love like the coming together and the whole glitz and glam. So I really wanted to become a wedding cake designer. I was about 23 years old, and I would watch the shows on the Food Network channel, and I would tell my mom and said that would be a great career as a cake designer, but I'm going to wait till my midlife crisis and do that like way down the line once I'm kind of done with the corporate world. And so my mom was like, well, why don't you try to do it now, at least see what it's like. So I decided to take some baking classes and cake design classes at a bakery, just to really see what it's like to actually design cakes.
So your mom's a pretty big influence.
Just to hey, if that's something you're interested in, then why don't you just go for it?
So what show I'm interested in knowing, I told you on the phone that my daughter's kind of big into the baking and cooking and stuff. What shows were that were inspiring to you as when you were kind of exploring or finding that passion?
Yeah, definitely. They're the main cake competitions on the Food Network channel. So they're actually filmed here in Denver, where the big cake celebrities, as they would call them, will fly in and do like the big crazy cakes, and they'll have different themes like Simpsons cake or like Christmas cakes, and they'll just have all different types of themes, and they'll compete. And of course get like the big prize, like the cash prize. So I would watch all of those shows. That was like before Cupcake Wars and all of that came out, so they mostly did the cake design shows.
So what was inspiring as far as the cake design team versus something different in the, kind of the cake area or even the design where this is not working?
Oh, definitely. Okay, so what really inspired me to get into cake design was just the artistry that really comes with really doing anything with food, where you can carve it, you can sculpt it, you can really do anything that you want with food. And I was like really fascinated with that and all what you can do with cake. And I've always loved to bake since I was growing up, when I was younger. And so it's like, what can I actually do with food? Because I love the food industry. So it's like, how can I really fit into the industry?
So then you worked at this place for a while and you decided to do something a little more you liked it and you said, I'm going to go do something a little more. You told me you went to.
Yeah, so but it was funny because I was working for AT&T and I was in my boss's office and I was like, I just don't know if I really want to do this. Like I may want to get into like baking. He was like, what, like Betty Crocker or Mrs. Fields? And I was like, yeah. And then strangely, like 6 months later, I got laid off. And I didn't really think I was going to get laid off. Then so I was like, okay, that's my opportunity to really go for my dreams and start my business. So I started selling pralines. That's my dad's recipe. It's a Southern gourmet candy. And then from there, I started to sell cupcakes, cookies, Rice Krispie treats, pies, you name it. I made it. I sold it.
So where did you do that at? Where were you doing this kind of creation and production, if you will, of these things? And where did you go to do that?
After I got laid off, I moved back home with my parents. So I did everything in my parents' house.
Oh, wow. Your parents must really like you.
Yeah, like
I mean, that's great that you have that ability.
Yeah, I had like my space where all of my stuff, because baking, you have a lot of stuff that you accumulate to make your thing. So, they're like, okay, like we'll give you some space to like store your stuff. So they're very, supportive. And from there, I was selling at the farmer's market, doing random orders here and there, but the money really wasn't coming in because I wasn't really that serious and I wasn't a cake designer like I really wanted to. So I had to go back to work and get a job. And then from there, I was really desiring to become a cake designer. Still, from 2011, I still had that passion. So as I was working for Apple, I really decided I'm going to go for it and quit my job and move to Toronto, go to cake design school, get professionally trained. And a lot of people had to talk me into making that big leap. It wasn't like an easy mental switch for me.
Let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, we were just talking just a little while ago, right? You said you take a leap, right? I'm not thinking about doing something, it's just take that leap. What helped you take the leap, and who helped you, and how did you kind of make that move to? I mean, we talked about the same. It was like, well, I moved to Toronto. Well, why Toronto?
Yeah.
So that itself is a big leap, I think.
Yeah, the sequence of events. I was to dinner with Miguel, and he was like, because I was all about working for Apple, right? Like Team Apple, and then that kind of wore down really quick, and I was like, I really want to start my own business. He's like, why don't you just go to school so your skill set just really increases, really goes up. And I was like, okay, maybe. And then I was really starting to think about me actually taking the leap. So my mentor, Michelle, is right there, really talked me into investing in my future, going for it, and really seeing the value in starting now and getting trained in my career. And so Michelle and also my boss at Apple surprisingly really supported me to make the decision as well, where he knew everything that I was doing, and
that was nice.
It really supported me to help make the switch as well, and how to really obtain the money to quit and really make that move. And everyone was very supportive.
So when you were in Toronto for the school, what were some of the things that, I'm sure you learned a lot, but what were some of the things that kind of said, wow, this solidifies what I'm doing or what I want to do? And then was it the people? Was it just training? Was it, what was it that kind of moved you along a little bit more to say, I'm going to do this for a living?
Well, I set the intention that I was going to go to Toronto, learn everything that I needed to know, because I was going to come back and start a business. So I had that intention before I left. And I would try to do cakes by myself at home, and they would just be like complete crap, wouldn't be a good cake. So I went to Toronto, like the moments where like the first week we had to design a cake. Like, you're going to start right now, design and learn how to properly bake, and like measure ingredients. And then like 2 weeks, I just started doing like 2-tiered cakes, and then started to do sculpting cakes. And this was all in like the span of 2 months. So then like sculpted cakes, blowing sugar, sugar flowers, wedding cakes. So it was all like fast paced because I was like, I went from not knowing how to do anything to making like wedding cakes in about 2 months. So it was like
Wow.
really fast paced.
Interesting.
Mhm.
So at that point, you knew that was going to be the business, right? So before it
Definitely.
was kind of, well, I'm kind of testing the waters on my passion, more or less. Now it's like it's the real meal deal, right? It's it, right?
Yeah, because I invested so much time, money in order to really pursue that goal. So it's like I was all in. At school, I was going to learn as much as I could, ask questions, really learn about the business, how do I market myself, really just learning everything about designing cakes.
So tell me about the Food Network thing that you were on.
Oh, so
This is kind of cool.
So I set the intention to be on the Food Network channel really when I didn't have a lot of skills at all. I just had that deep desire to be on the Food Network channel. And then I like put it on my vision board, like a lot of entrepreneurs like will do vision boards and everything. So I put like the logo on there, and then I actually kind of forgot about it. And then it was very random how just one day a producer, like the casting company, called me and they said, yeah, we love your work. We'd love for you to come on a show, a new show, competition, everything. What do you think? And they're like, think about it. Come back. And I wasn't really going to do it because I was really nervous about the competition. It's very high pressure. If you've seen those shows, it's super high pressure.
Is it really that way? Seriously?
It really is high pressure. I filmed for 13 hours, but
Oh my gosh.
and they condensed it down to a 30-minute show. But
For out of 13 hours?
for a film day, yeah.
Wow.
And but
Interesting.
I was like, okay, this is something I've been desiring. Let me go for it and see what happens. And I have the possibility of earning 10 grand. That's good. And they supported me to go out there. So
Yeah.
it's a pretty great experience.
Well, that's pretty cool. So you came up with the name. Tell us the name of the company.
My name of my business is Aspen Charm,
Aspen
Cakes
Charm.
and Pastries.
So why that? Just curious.
It was going to be charming cakes because I was a big collector of charms, like for your bracelets, and but that's not rich. It's not luxurious. It's not catchy. So I was brainstorming with Miguel, my boyfriend. We're like, how can we really make this like a top-notch, high-quality, premium brand and make it very Denver, Colorado, because it's a local company.
Right.
So we were just like playing around with the names, and he actually came up with the name.
There you go.
Yeah, because I like the charms. So my logo has like little charms of leaves on there. So add that in.
So you started the company when? It was back in 2011. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that was it was Perfect Pralines, and then
Okay.
it was Chrissy's Sweet Treats, and then I went to school and got really serious about it, and
got
then
it.
it became Aspen Charm.
Okay. I
Yeah.
see.
So I had an evolution of names.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about kind of the challenges we talk about, and then I want to kind of move into the other area that you're kind of doing now too, as well as we talked about this on the phone today about challenges of being an entrepreneur and some of the obstacles and stuff like that, and you had mentioned several times that you do everything, right? And you are doing everything in this particular case. So tell me a little bit about the challenges that you have encountered, how you kind of went about it. You talked about Miguel and your parents and Michelle and other folks. And what other things do you do to help you kind of move down that road and kind of move those challenges out of the way, right? Just try to plan. You came up with your vision, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there are a lot of challenges with starting a business that a lot of people are not aware of until they're actually knee-deep in the business, that they really find out a lot of challenges. So a first challenge was money. Where's the money going to come from?
Right.
In order to fund my dream, because I had to go invest in my education. So I had to really come up with that. And then it's the unexpected expenses that comes with running a business that I totally was way off on like what it took to actually keep a business going. And also making sure like my needs are met, you know, I'm able to pay the rent, like everything. It's I was very off with how much money it actually takes to run a business. Another obstacle, and this I feel is a lot for brand new entrepreneurs, is your belief in yourself. You're really tested for how much do you believe in yourself, how much do you believe in your vision, how much do you believe you actually have what it takes to really make it and make some money. You're really tested, you really find out what you're made of, because this is all you. And I was doing this full time.
Right.
It's all you, you're all in, like, do I have what it takes to make money? And you're self-doubt a lot. You talk yourself, you know, okay, I'm gonna just get a job, you know, because that's just so much easier.
It's a fallback, right?
Yeah, that you really see what you're made of.
Right, right.
And the ones who pursue forward are the ones who really get the belief that they have what it takes in order to make a business run. Everyone has what it takes to, you know, really do it, but you have to put yourself in that position to find out yourself.
Right.
Yeah, everyone has what it takes, but you have to find that out. Yes.
And so in doing that, you're testing yourself, basically. And
And how much you really believe in your vision and your goal. And that's the big thing, because the vision has to be so big, so powerful, that you will go through anything in order to get there. Going through not making much money each month, you know, what am I going to cut back on? Who do I need to become in order to get the results that I'm looking for? You have to really grow into the entrepreneur that you are destined to become. So a lot of things.
So how did you go about getting kind of customers and clients, right? I mean, the interesting, and I think I told you this before, and some folks in here will know, and as you know, doing Startup Grind and stuff, we typically have interviewed a lot of tech people, right? And I told you on the phone, you're kind of our guinea pig for non-tech, and I think it's interesting because you know, entrepreneurship as a whole it has no boundaries when it comes to the type of business, right? I mean, people have passions, they pursue them in different ways, and they try to fulfill them regardless of what it is they're doing. And I think in your particular case, it's interesting to me because you're producing a product, not only for a product that's going to be used, but it's actually going to be consumed, which is different than, you know, something that, you know, helps you get from one place to another, an application, for example. I mean, you consume it in a different way. And a lot of what you're doing, at least on the cake business, is more of, I mean, it's instant satisfaction, right? I mean, you're going to know right away whether the client likes you or not. Agreed? Or whether they're going to say something because they're going to take what you're doing and they're going to, not only for themselves, but the people that they're doing it. You're at the wedding, I mean, you told me 200 people, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, is that a fair statement? And how to get more customers is really through.
Oh yeah, how do I get my customers? I really networked my way. I had to go on Facebook, on my personal page, and like let people know, like, hey, I'm a cake designer. I mean, people were seeing my journey when I was in Toronto. I had to come back, introduce my company, and it was like, hope someone was getting married, you know, so then they might reach out to me. But I really utilized my personal...
So you really like Joe and you want to get married, right?
Yeah, like, I really utilized my personal network to get my first paying clients. And then from there, I got out there with meeting the wedding planners, photographers, the influential people who the brides touch before they look for a cake. So I had to, you know, build those relationships as well, and also marketing on the big wedding blogs or sites like the Knot and Wedding Wire. So that's pretty much how I would get my clients. And then it's about 50% of my business is referral.
Oh, that's nice. That's really good. Okay, now I'm going to switch gears.
Okay.
You have a consulting company, a coaching company.
Yes.
Cosmopolitan Success
Yes.
Coaching, right? Tell me about that aspect of your journey. Was that planned? Is that something that you just thought, wow, what got you into that?
Yeah.
Well, first tell us a little bit about what that is.
Okay. So I own Cosmopolitan Success. It's a coaching business where I coach women entrepreneurs to build successful online businesses. And that's pretty much it.
Well, tell me, how did you decide to do that?
Okay.
I mean, you're going from building cakes to say,
Yeah.
I woke up one day and we're like, I just thought maybe I'm just going to coach people.
Yeah. So there are cake celebrities out there. Like they're the big people in the cake industry who you look up to. And some of them go and travel around the world where they train other cake like bakeries like how to design better. So as I was really getting my business off of the ground, it was extremely difficult, like how to price my product, how to charge my worth, getting everything in line. I was like, there should be something that can help me grow my business because this is really difficult. But I've like figured out, about my pricing, put my systems and structures together. So I was like, wow, I wish I could like be like a cake celeb who helps people with their cake design, but help women with their businesses instead. So then I found out about a coaching certification program, and then I just decided, like, hey, I'm going to go and be a coach. Because as I was building my business, I loved so much how to make as much money as I could with pricing my product, making sure everything was like systematically priced. So then I'm charging my worth, doing the margins, the upsells, and everything. I love making more money and seeing how I can make more money from that. Like I love that as just about as much as the cake design part. So because I went from like charging $350 to $1,500 for a cake to $2,000 for a cake. So I had like a lot of jumps. So it's like I know a lot of women aren't charging this much as a new cake designer. It's like if I could do it, I can just easily teach other women how to get big success.
So is it specifically in that industry, or is it just, does it matter what industry it is that you're helping
I do
women with?
cake designers and also online coaches. So coaches who pretty much want to like make a lot of money. I'll coach them, but I also coach cake designers as well to how to build a profitable business.
Okay, so give me some examples of what it is that that you're helping. Well, I guess let me just turn around. What are some of the things that you're finding that women in particular in the industries that they're in are having the most difficulties with, that you're helping them, get through those options?
Women have, what I've seen and what I've gone through myself, they have a big mental block about charging their worth and really being able to make a lot of money. They feel like I'm not worth the money that you can put a dollar amount to. They don't believe that they can actually get the money that they actually want. And in this business, in the entrepreneurial world, you have to know how to price and market yourself. You have to believe in yourself first that you can actually get it. But a lot of women just have a big mental block around receiving the wealth that they truly desire. And really being able to make a business out of what they're passionate about. It's that common, a lot of people say, do what you love. That's that phrase people just throw out there. And it's like, okay, can I make money from it? And that's what a lot of people think, can I make money from doing what I love? And it's like, you can't. You have to do it in a way that makes you money. Like building a business is a formula, and you have to follow the formula, and you have to have that mental, that mindset in order to actually attract the wealth that you're looking for. But you have to believe in yourself. And I think that's a lot of entrepreneurs go through. It's like, do I have what it takes?
Right. So with the other thing, from an obstacle standpoint, I know I'd had the opportunity here at Startup Grind to interview several women who have started businesses, and there's elements about what you had just mentioned. Some are they're, especially in the tech world, for example, they're facing, a kind of swimming upstream in some cases because it's a man-dominated world, right? Do you find that the case in your
No, mine's
case?
very woman-dominated.
Woman-dominated?
Mhm.
So if I were to go in the cake business, I'd have a problem. No, just kidding.
Not necessarily.
No, it's
yeah.
interesting because it's, you're saying that, and that's kind of interesting because I haven't been exposed to that, at least in this forum, where it's been that way. It's been kind of the way. So is it more positioning for those ladies? But worth is interesting. Maybe just go like that for a minute. Talk to me about what they mean by worth. Is it just because they don't feel that they can do it, or they don't feel that it's available, or
They feel like no one's going to pay the price that they feel like they deserve to be charged. So, like I went to cake design school, got the same training as other women, and some cake designers, I thought they were better than me, but they think that they can't charge a lot for their product because they think, oh, no one's going to pay that. I'm not good enough. I haven't been in the industry for that long. It's like they think that they can't receive what they actually feel like they can actually get from like all their knowledge, trainings, everything. They think people won't pay it. When in fact they can receive it, but you have to know and believe that you can actually make the money you really want.
right. So what do you think are some of your future obstacles in not only the cake design business, but in the coaching side? You have set a vision. What are some of the things that you want to accomplish that you, down the road ways? I'm just kind of throwing it out here, but coaching other women, that's great in that area. That's awesome. I love it. What's the next step? Is it?
Yeah, for coaching, it's really being of service to more women at the same time. I deeply desired to put out courses, like business building courses for cake designers. So they get access to me, my knowledge, but it's on a different, they're receiving the information in a different way versus one-on-one coaching, because that's what I do right now is one-on-one or small group, but they're going to be able to get my information on like a downloadable course. So they're able to learn from me by doing it on a smaller scale, or they're not paying as much. So that's one area. The more that you're actually growing your business, the more money you make, the more people you're actually going to reach. That's your goal. You want to be of service to more people. So with my coaching business is helping more women who are inspired by my message, my journey, who want the same success that I had, putting my product into their hands in order to learn how to grow a business.
Tell me about your most challenging client. Who is the most challenging person? You don't have to know in person.
Like cake client, or
Yeah, so you go through a consultation, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to come in and I'm going to say, "Hi, Christine. I'm Tony. How you doing?
Hello.
We want a cake." What are? I'm just interested in this.
Yeah.
But what are some? Because I'm sure, I can remember it kind of going way back. It'll be 25 years since I've been married this summer, and I can remember this very clearly. And my wife's probably wondering, oh my God, he's going to talk about this. But the cake was like a big thing, right? That was like to me it was like, whatever, You could just have a bowl of ice cream and that would have been fine, right? But it was a big thing. It was kind of stressful, right? And I watch these shows with my daughter, like I said, and, they're in there and they're nervous. And so I'm just curious, what do you do to kind of give that person, because this is very personal, right? This is like it, right? How do you go about, that consultative piece, but kind of calming them down and letting them know that they can trust you? Because That's a big thing, right?
The cake's a big thing with the brides.
It's like the centerpiece.
They don't even know that they take like one bite of the cake and then they're like on to the next thing. They don't know that.
So you
But I don't
feed
tell
them.
them that too. But
You come in immediately and give them a piece of cake. Here, go. No.
so you have to be as an entrepreneur, you have to be great at sales. Like no matter what you're doing, you have to know how to sell. So it's really being able to build the rapport with someone right away when you're like bringing them in, really taking authority of the consultation before the consultation even begins. Before they even meet me, it's like you want to set the expectation for this is how I work and this is how we're going to work together. So I set that up, via email. And then when they come and meet me, then I say, this is the most exciting part of the wedding journey. We're going to taste cake. I get them like really excited, but I really paint the vision of this is a custom creation that I made just for you in your wedding. And the brides, they love that because they want something.
So how much is the groom involved in this? I'm just curious. She's just kind of sitting back going, God,
they love the eating, like the cake. They really love their input there. If I'm doing a groom's cake, they like their input with whatever I'm going to do for them.
Okay.
Yeah. But they want to make their brides happy. So it's like, whatever you want,
Yeah, whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever you want, that's gonna make me happy. But they're like big on tasting the cake flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you have to know how to sell the vision.
So with this said, tell me about. I'm just curious the challenging aspects. If there's someone that came in and they were just like, you're like, oh my gosh, do I really want to do this versus or not?
Like when I wasn't charging what I should have been, like those were the worst clients. The one where I was charging so low for a wedding cake. They're the pickiest. They want to really pick at how you're going to design. They don't really trust you, and they're really tight with their money. Versus a client who is investing more in a wedding cake. They really trust your design abilities. They know that you're going to take care of them and everything. So it's really like when I wasn't charging that much, those were the most like the worst clients. But when I was charging more, the clients like really trusted me to deliver them a great product.
So is that something that you kind of promote with the coaching aspect?
Definitely.
With the women you're talking about now?
Like the less that you charge, the more, pain is going to be to enjoy your work. And then you down the line are going to resent the work that you're doing for them. Because I don't like this, I'm not really getting paid what I want. You start to do all this mental talk.
Well, that's a good point. I think that's.
Yeah, and a lot of clientele, when you're putting a lot of money into something, you really trust and know that you're getting a great product versus those who, don't really view it as that.
Interesting. That's cool. All right. So, any siblings in your family?
Yes, I have 2 older brothers.
Okay. Are they pretty supportive of what you're doing?
Oh, definitely. They love knowing, hey,
I'm just
yeah, they just really supportive on everything that I'm doing. So I like to know that I'm surviving the entrepreneur.
You're surviving?
Yeah, that's how they
Hey
see
sis, how you doing?
Yeah, they like to know I'm, still doing my business. So.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So what do you think, just in general, from just women entrepreneurs in general, whether they're in the cake business or not, what are some key advice points would you give women specifically, right? I mean, because you've had some experience in that. What would you tell women today? What are some of the things that they want to do, or what they could do, if you will, if they want to start a business?
Yeah, I would say if you want to start a business, then you have to start now. There's never going to be a perfect moment. There's never going to be the right timing where, okay, all my ducks are lined up. I can really go for it. People always find a new excuse for why they're not ready or why it's not the right time. If you really want anything you want in life, you have to start now. Another piece of advice would be to really believe in yourself. And whatever life throws at you, you have to know that you're going to accomplish your goal, and you have to have a strong vision that you're working towards, because that vision is going to keep you focused no matter what life's going to throw at you, because life's going to really throw some curveballs and some hard times. You're really going to doubt yourself. You're going to want to quit, but you have to really love what you're doing so much that you're really going to go through anything to obtain that vision. Yeah, really sees what you're, what you're made out of. So you really have to ramp up the self-confidence, which is a great tool to have in life in general. But a lot of us grow up where some of us don't have a lot of confidence in ourselves.
Right.
So then, and that plays with how you perform as an adult. Like in your job search, entrepreneur, your relationships, that really affects a lot. But you really have to start to learn how to be your best friend and talk to yourself in a supporting manner, because you're only going to get yourself to the end.
Right. Do you think that self-confidence is learned, or do you think that's just part of who a person is?
It is something that I feel is somewhat taught as you're growing up, because as you're like little, people are feeding you information that's going to go into your subconscious mind, right? And then your subconscious is locked to where you're going to be able to form your own thoughts and your own opinions. But as you're going through life experiences and everything, what you've been learned or been taught is going to be a factor for how you're going to deal with life. And unless you understand where you're at and you're able to change that, your self-confidence is going to, like it affects, I'm trying to keep my thoughts straight, but your self-confidence really affects a lot of your areas, but I feel like it's taught and then it's learned through experience, and then when you know your level and you're aware of your self-confidence level, you're able to change that, but you have to be aware of where you're at first.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of adults really find that out. Like when you have to talk yourself up to do things, or question yourself, doubt yourself. A lot of adults, have that. And I think it's a lot what your parents teach you. Because they feed you whatever, and you accept that as the truth.
That's truth, yeah.
And then you go through your life experience, and then you have social media now that really test your confidence and your worth and who you are as a person. Outside factors, a lot of things can really test you. And you have to know that nothing, like your degrees, your certifications, whatever you've gone through doesn't really determine your self-worth. Like you're enough as is, no matter how many degrees or whatever you've gone through. You're good enough as is. Everyone is. But you have to know that first.
Awesome. Well, cool. I appreciate you showing up tonight. Thank you so much. This is very interesting.
Oh, thanks. I can talk all day about
No, I know you will.
this type of stuff.
No, this is really interesting. I really appreciate you showing up this evening. And thank you for coming tonight.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Great.